are going to see the respiration in plants. So respiration, as you all know that all the living organisms required a respiration. It is not only the living organisms, even the living cell requires a respiration. When we say respiration, without respiration, a living cell cannot survive. So, how does the respiration happens? If you take a organisms, and that means respiration in organisms, as you know that in respiration oxygen is required for the organism, whereas it emits out the carbon dioxide. So when I say respiration, the organs which is associated with respiration in organism is gills, sometimes skin acts also as a respiration, lungs, and by tissues it also takes place the respiration. This is about the respiration in organisms. So now we are going to talk about the respiration in plants. How does the plants respire? Okay, as you know that plant has a living cortical cells, so that cells requires the respiration. How does your respiration is going to happen? See, usually, for the human beings, oxygen is required. It emits out the carbon dioxide. But if you take the plants, it requires a carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis, and it emits out the oxygen. So, if you take the respiration in plants, the energy currency of the cell in respiration is energy currency of the respiration is ATP molecules. So by way of ATP molecules, respiration takes place. How does this ATP molecules are produced? So if you take a respiration in plants, it has two types. One is cellular respiration, another one is acellular respiration. Okay, so cellular respiration, if you take a cellular respiration, what exactly happens inside the cell? And if you take this cellular respiration, we have two types. One is aerobic respiration, another one is anaerobic respiration. First, if you take the cellular respiration, here one molecule of glucose will react with 6 molecule of oxygen to produce 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and 6 molecule of water plus energy. So this is the first step when we talk about the cellular respiration. As you know that this cellular respiration is further divided into aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration requires a oxygen. Here requires a oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration does not require a oxygen. So first we'll see the aerobic cellular respiration. Aerobic cellular respiration has two main mechanism is involved in it. First one is glycolysis and second mechanism is breaking down of pyruvic acid. So glycolysis. Glycolysis, as you know that glycolysis, it means here the glucose is breakdown. So how does the glucose is breaking down, and what is the end product of glycolysis? It talks about in the glycolysis, and it is also called as Embden-Meyerhof pathway, because Embden-Meyerhof is a person who described this glycolysis. So we called it as Embden-Meyerhof pathway or glycolysis cycle. So first we'll see the glycolysis cycle. In glycolysis cycle, 1 molecule of glucose is converted into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So, in glycolysis, the end product is pyruvic acid. So, 1 molecule of glucose will be converted into 2 molecule of pyruvic acid. Where does this glycolysis happens in the plants? It will be happen in the cytosol. So, it will be happening in the cytosol of living organisms. It will be happening in the cytosol of living organisms. Now, this is the diagrammatical representation of glycolysis. You have left with no other choice. You have to, you know, memorize this cycle because you can't remember each and every step. So, first memorize this cycle. We'll discuss each one individually about this. So, if you take this glycolysis step, first step is 1 molecule of glucose is converted into 1 molecule of glucose is converted into glucose 6 phosphate. Okay, 1 molecule of glucose is converted into glucose 6 phosphate with the help of enzyme hexokinase. Okay, when the glucose is converted into glucose 6 phosphate with the help of hexokinase enzyme, 1 ATP is utilized, that is 1 ATP is consumed. So, once ATP is consumed, the end product will be ADP. Now, this glucose 6 phosphate is converted into fructose 6 phosphate with the help of enzyme phosphoglucoisomerase. So, glucose 6 phosphate will be converted into fructose 6 phosphate with the help of enzyme phosphoglucoisomerase. Now, this fructose 6 phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6 diphosphate. Fructose 6 phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6 diphosphate with the help of enzyme phosphofructokinase. Phosphofructokinase. And when it is converting from the 6 phosphate to 1,6 diphosphate, again here ATP is consumed. So, the end product here will be ADP. Now, this fructose 6 phosphate, that is 6 carbon compound, the 6 carbon fructose compound will be divided into 3 carbon compound. First 3 carbon compound here is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Another 3 carbon compound here is glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Okay. First, we'll see this. So, for converting this fructose 1,6 diphosphate, that is 6 carbon compound to 3 carbon compound, it requires an enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. First, we'll concentrate on the dihydroxyacetone phosphate. What happening with the 3 carbon compound? This 3 carbon dihydroxyacetone phosphate will converted into 1,3-diphosphoglyceride. 1,3-diphosphoglyceride with the help of enzyme glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Okay, and this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase converted into 3-phosphoglyceride again with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerokinase. And while happening in this step, it accumulate a 1 molecule of ATP. Okay, and same way with the help of phosphoglyceromutase, again it will converted into 2-phosphoglycerate. 2-phosphoglycerate. glycerate. Okay, so in that 2-phosphoglycerate, with the help of enzyme enolase, it will convert it into phosphoenol pyruvate, and one molecule of water will be comes out from the 2-phosphoglycerate, and phosphoenol pyruvate, with the help of enzyme pyruvate kinase, it will produce the one molecule of pyruvic acid. While producing pyruvic acid, it also produce one molecule of ATP. Okay, so here 2 molecule of ATP is consumed, 2 molecule of ATP is produced in the first half. Apart from that, as I've told you that the 6 carbon compound of fructose will be converted into 3 carbon, one into dihydroxyacetone phosphate, another one into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So when this 3 carbon dihydroxyacetone phosphate, when converted into 1,3-diphosphoglyceride, it will produce one molecule of NADH2. It will produce one molecule of DH2. Okay, so this is the first half. Next half, that is next 3 carbon compound, what is happening with that? So it will produce glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate with the help of enzyme aldolase. Again, this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, only this component alone will be differ. Apart from this, the remaining steps will be the same. So this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, again it will produce 1,3-diphosphoglyceride, okay, with the help of enzyme glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Same here also, one molecule of NADH2 is produced. Okay, same, because this is exactly this is the replica of the another half. So one molecule of NADH2 will be produced, and this 1,3-diphosphoglyceride, with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerokinase, it will produce 3-phosphoglyceride. So while producing 3-phosphoglyceride, it will also simultaneously produce one molecule of ATP, just like that. Okay, now 3-phosphoglyceride, okay, that will produce 2-phosphoglycerate with the help of phosphoglyceromutase. Okay, after producing 2-phosphoglycerate, okay, one molecule of water will be exit out from this reaction. So once the one molecule of water exit out from the reaction, that will leads to produce phosphoenol pyruvate with the help of enzyme enolase. So once phosphoenol pyruvate gets produced, okay, with the help of enzyme pyruvate kinase, it will produce another molecule of pyruvic acid. While producing a phosphoenol pyruvate into another molecule of pyruvic acid, it will also produce the one molecule of ATP. So just like this side. Okay. Now, as you know that here in the first step, phosphorylation of glucose by ATP, that means ATP is consumed. Whereas in the second and third step, what happened is rearrangement is happening. Can you see that rearrangement from glucose to fructose? So this is the rearrangement. And in the fourth and fifth step, what happened is 6 carbon molecules of fructose will be cleaved into 3 molecules of dihydroxyacetone phosphate, 3 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Okay. Next is in the sixth step, that is, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5, and in the sixth step, the oxidation followed by phosphorylation. So oxidation will be happening along with phosphorylation. That's how you get the 2 molecules of NADH2. Okay. Next, in the seventh step, what happened is removal of phosphate. So once the phosphate is getting removed from 3 to 2, correct? So here 3 phosphate groups are there, here 2 phosphate groups are there. Same here, 3 phosphate groups are there, here 2 phosphate groups are there. So it means one phosphate group is removed. So while removing the one phosphate group will leads to a produce ATP, one ATP molecules. So here one ATP molecules, here another ATP molecules. Okay. Now this while happening this, when the one molecule of phosphate gets removed to yield the H2O, one molecule of H2O. Why do this H2O gets removed is to produce the phosphoenol pyruvate. If one molecule of each molecule of H2O does not remove from this reaction, you will not get this molecule, that is phosphoenol pyruvate. So to get the phosphoenol pyruvate, photolysis, that is one molecule of water has to be removed. So once water has been removed, it will produce the end product pyruvic acid. While producing the end product pyruvic acid, it will also produce the one molecule of ATP. Okay. Now we'll see the net results. So net result is nothing but how many molecules of ATP is produced, how many are consumed, how many molecules of NADPH2 is produced, and how many of them are consumed. Okay. So we'll see the net result of glycolysis. So as you know that 2 molecules of ATP is consumed. So 2 molecule of ATP is consumed. 4 ATP molecules will be produced. So here 1 molecule of ATP, 2 molecule of ATP, 3 molecule of ATP, and 4 molecule of ATP. So 4 ATP is produced. Okay. Next is 2 molecule of NADH2. So here's 1 molecule and another is 2 molecules. So this NADH2, after it produced, it will enter into the mitochondria. So glycolysis is happening in the cytosol, but once NADH2 produced, it will enter into the mitochondria. When it enters into the mitochondria, as you all know that electron transport system will be happening in the mitochondria. So what happened is, through the electron transport system, that one molecule of NADH2 will be oxidized to form 3 ATP molecules. So here 1 NADPH2 is equal to 3 ATP molecules. So here 2 NADPH2 is there. So totally 6 ATP molecules are there. So overall 4 ATP molecules are produced, 2 ATP molecules are consumed, and 2 NADH2, that is 1 molecule of NADH2 equals to 3 ATP molecules. So totally 6 ATP molecules. So 4 plus 6, 10. In that 10, 2 is consumed by the glycolysis initial site. So that will lead to 8 ATP molecules will be produced. So 8 ATP end result is, in glycolysis 8 ATP molecules are produced by 1 molecule of glucose. When 1 molecule of glucose goes for the glycolysis in aerobic cellular respiration, it will produce the 8 ATP molecules. Okay, I'll repeat again. I'll just summarize this glycolysis. Okay, as you know that glycolysis, respiration in plants is nothing but, for the plants to respire, it requires the ATP. So ATP is the energy currency of the cell. And if you take the respiration, we have 2 types. One is cellular respiration, another one is acellular respiration. Cellular respiration, it means here the cells are involved for the respiration. Okay, if you take this cellular respiration, it has 2 types of cellular respiration. One is aerobic respiration, another one is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration requires oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration does not require oxygen. So what exactly happening in the cellular respiration is one molecule of glucose when reacts with 6 molecule of oxygen, it will produce 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and 6 molecule of water plus energy. Now first we will see the aerobic cellular respiration. In aerobic cellular respiration, two steps are mainly involved. One is glycolysis, another one is breakdown of pyruvic acid. First, we'll concentrate on the glycolysis. Glycolysis is discovered by a person called Embden-Meyerhof. Okay, so it is also called Embden-Meyerhof pathway. So here what happened here is in glycolysis, the glucose molecule will be converted into pyruvic acid. Here, one molecule of glucose will be converted into 2 molecule of pyruvic acid. And this glycolysis will be happening inside the cytosol of living organisms. Okay. So, this is the diagrammatical representation of the glycolysis cycle. So, here one molecule of glucose. The first step is one molecule of glucose. So, last step is pyruvic, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. In between that, these are the step which is involved. So, glucose will be converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Next is fructose 6-phosphate. This fructose 6-phosphate will be converted into fructose 1,6-diphosphate. Once the fructose 1,6-diphosphate produced, which has a 6-carbon compound, this 6-carbon compound will be cleaved into two types of 3-carbon compound, 3-carbon compound. That one 3-carbon compound is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Another 3-carbon compound is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. After that, after this cleavation, okay, the remaining steps will be same. Here again it will converted into 1,3-diphosphoglyceride, 3-phosphoglyceride, 2-phosphoglyceride, phosphoenol pyruvate. Last product is pyruvate. Here again the same, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be converted into 1,3-diphosphoglyceride, 3-phosphoglyceride, 2-phosphoglyceride, phosphoenol pyruvate. Next end product is pyruvic acid. So for this, all this conversions, oxidizations, phosphorylations, it requires a corresponding enzymes. So these are the corresponding enzymes which convert this product. Apart from that, here the ATP molecules will be produced as well as the ATP molecules will be consumed. In this two steps, ATP molecules will be consumed. But in this step, because of oxidation, it will produce 2 molecules of NADH2. Okay. Next is again when the 1-phosphate groups removes, it will leads to a production of 2 ATP molecules in this steps, 2 ATP molecules in this step. Next we move on to net result of glycolysis. As you know that 2 molecules are consumed, totally 4 molecules of ATP is produced, 2 molecules of NADH2 is produced. That produced NADH2 will enter into mitochondria. Once it enter into mitochondria, that will leads to the oxidation in electron transport system. When it goes for the electron transport system, 1 NADH2 is equal to 3 ATP molecules. So, the 2 NADH2 molecules will produce 6 ATP molecules. So, 2 is consumed, another 4 is there. So, totally 8 ATP molecules will be produced in glycolysis cycle. So, this is about the aerobic cellular respiration in glycolysis. Next, we move on to breakdown of pyruvic acid. As you know that here 2 molecules of pyruvic acids are produced. How does the pyruvic acid will be break down? We'll see it in the next mechanism. Okay.